Hi, welcome back to Hold My Matcha, except for funky little twist today. We're not drinking matcha. This episode is titled You'll Need Espresso for this one, and in honor of our fun title, we decided we also needed espresso. So, I'm drinking a dirty chai. I have been drinking more coffee lately. If you know me at all, you know that I don't like coffee very much, but after my concussion, apparently I like coffee now. So I drink coffee sometimes. Anyway, yeah.
Crazy rewire.
Yeah, I know. It did something to my brain, I
You
guess.
had a Doc Brown moment, but instead of the flux capacitor, you now want coffee.
Yeah, now I drink coffee. I go into work and I make coffee now, which was crazy because I never used to use my shift drinks because I work at a coffee shop. And now I use my shift drinks and I make coffee all the time. Not like I like it sweet, okay, but I you would never catch me drinking black coffee because that's nasty. But
If you drink that, you're just trying to be cool or you're hitting retirement, honestly. Not to be rude, but
or you're my dad.
that too. He's not hitting retirement though. He's chilling.
Chilling.
What is this episode again, Trinity?
Okay, so the reason that I titled this one You'll Need Espresso is because we're gonna do a little bit more of a hot topic-y kind of episode. We're gonna talk a lot about like guilty pleasure genres that we like, but also we're gonna talk about how specific genres in books and film have been sort of categorized by the gender that is supposed to like them. So we're gonna kind of delve into what specific genres belong with specific genders and why we think that's a thing.
Yeah. Kind of breaking the stereotypes there. I
Mhm.
mean, to start it off, I would say that a guilty pleasure of mine, or like a movie I just tend to rewatch.
Mhm.
I actually do really like Braveheart and Gladiator, and honestly, when Taken's on TV, I throw it on up there for some Liam Neeson.
Taken's good. Yeah.
Taken is a good time.
Hmm.
Educational too.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely educational. I think it's actually mildly terrifying to watch
Oh,
as an adult. Um, it was mildly terrifying to watch as a kid too. That didn't make any sense. It's real world scary.
yeah. It definitely scares you to ever want to go on vacation.
Mhm. Yeah, that one's an interesting one. Um, guilty pleasure specifics for me. Um, I, I full transparency, I really like really bad romance movies.
Oh, because they're
Um,
fun
yeah,
sometimes.
they're like at like like I really like to watch the new ones that'll come out on like Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. Like I will watch them because I want to know how bad they are. And sometimes they surprise me and they're good, but that's like what I enjoy. Like if a new one comes out, I'm like, "Oh, yes. Get to sit down and watch this and feel out like if it's bad or not." I like that a lot. But also I rewatched a lot of the same things. I grew up on like uh Pirates of the Caribbean and The Mummy and Harry Potter and things like that, and so those are definitely my guilty pleasures. I don't know if they're as guilty as the romance thing, but it definitely happens a lot. So
Action movies can definitely be a guilty
mhm,
pleasure,
yeah,
especially bad action movies.
bad action movies. Yeah,
Oh, those are so fun.
yeah.
I mean, not to bring up this topic, but just saying. I will say I just remembered a guilty pleasure, and that is a comedy movie on my list if I really want to laugh is Jaws 3 and 4. Because obviously, you should just never keep going with the series like that. You can't beat the original.
Yeah,
But also, the third one was supposed to be cool for that time because 3D was a big thing. So it was called Jaws
right.
3D. But when you go in and you look at the graphics that they did, dude, it's so funny. It's so funny. And the fourth one is just crazy because the story is very dramatic. And I kid you not, the shark roars.
I didn't know they did that.
It Sharks don't make noise to my recollection
I don't know.
besides water noises, but I don't think they can make sounds.
I wouldn't know.
They don't roar in pain. I will tell you that. That's definitely a guilty pleasure is those last two just because 'cause they're so funny.
You're talking about sharks roaring in pain, and the only thing I thought of was a giant Ursula getting stuck by Triton's thing,
It honestly kinda sounds like that.
fork thing.
His little, yeah.
His
I'm forgetting what it's called. Isn't it literally just a triton?
isn't it
Yeah,
Wait, I
cause that's his
literally don't know.
cause that's his name.
Yeah, King Triton
'Cause
has
he
a
has a
Triton. I don't know. Wait,
Wow.
I literally don't know. Anyway, his little like spear thing. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm thinking of that. She goes, but it's like more guttural than that
'Cause she's big.
because she's a giant monster at that point.
Mm.
I don't know why I thought of that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's always interesting to see what your brain goes
Mm.
to. Mine segues in a crazy way when it does that.
Mhm.
But, those yeah. I think it's really fun when guilty pleasures can be ones that are bad. Because when you
Yeah.
tell people you watch them, you're like, "Listen,"
You feel like you have to defend it. Yeah.
because it's just entertaining sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. That I was like that is one thing when like we talk about guilty pleasures. Those are the things that I feel like I have to be like, oh well, here's the reason, like here's the reason I do this, or here's the reason that I like this sort of thing. So like with like the Pirates of the Caribbean and the Mummy thing, for me I have to be like, oh well, I grew up watching them as a kid, like they're good, but like I grew up watching them as a kid and that's why I like them. With the romance ones I have to be like, well I know they're bad, I just like that they're bad. Like I like good things too, but like I like the bad. You know what I mean? You have to like explain why you like it, which is what makes it guilty.
Yeah.
So
It's like those hear me out cake trends, like
yeah.
when you have a conversation of like what's your guilty pleasure, you have to be like, "Okay, wait, hold on. Just to preface, don't judge me. It's just for fun." Yeah.
We listen and we don't
We
judge
listen and
most
we
of the
don't
time.
judge. Yeah.
Most of the time.
I will say, different rom-coms would be a guilty pleasure of mine, whether they're just like I mean, they're not bad, they're just very
Mhm.
simple, I have a good time, or ones that are bad, they're campy, I guess is the word, that those could definitely be guilty pleasures for me.
Mhm.
I think I said one time that ones I rewatch a lot, like I'll put on the background a lot, is the To All the Boys I Loved Before. I rewatch
Oh
those
yeah.
all the time. I love those.
I have not seen those movies since they were coming out.
Really?
Mm-mm. My senior class watched the last one all together when it came out. Actually, all the girls did. Um, and that I haven't seen them since.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I just thought of one, and I don't know if it qualifies as a guilty pleasure, but I guess for people like us, it can. Because I was talking with my coworker about this the other day, and how, you know, uh, like La La Land or The Fablemans, like as film people, we love watching movies about film people. And honestly, in school, sometimes you tend to write about that because that's what you know. But you have to realize the only people who are going to like that are the people that are like you. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. That means I'll enjoy it. And honestly, La La Land is something that a lot of people enjoy. Some
Hmm.
people don't. But I was told that by my coworker. It's like, well, that's a movie for film people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I have a really awesome time watching The Fablemans, but I know it's not for everybody. But that's just because for me personally, I understand it. Like I get it. It hits a chord.
Yeah.
And
Every
same with La La Land, and that's one of my number one favorites. Yes, because it's nostalgic in a sense for me, or it did something for me when I was younger. But yeah, I'm a film person, so I'm
hmm
gonna enjoy film art related movies.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's gonna relate to things differently.
Hmm.
Like trying to think. Oh, one of my absolute favorite movies, and this is this is what makes it guilty. I know it's kind of dumb. I really like Letters to Juliet. It's one of my favorites. The main character, who's played by Amanda Seyfried, she is a fact checker at like a newspaper, in New York, and she's engaged to a, chef, and they go on a pre-honeymoon or like a honeymoon before the wedding kinda thing in Italy, and long story short, she ends up writing letters to Juliet with this little, like, society of women who reply to people who leave letters to Juliet in, like, a wall, and I really like it because it's a cute little, like, story, but also, um, she isn't a writer, but, like, she's writer adjacent, and I really related to her in a lot of ways, and I liked that movie a lot.
There's definitely a lot more rom-coms that I say are guilty pleasures. I mean, not to be cliche, but, like, I do think there are a lot of corny rom-coms that I do enjoy
Yeah.
from time to time, but also, like, younger kid movies that are very fun or
Mhm.
quirky ones. I don't know if I mentioned, but I really like, Mitchells versus Machines, and that's very campy, but
Mhm.
it's also just awesome, and
Mhm.
it's funny, and, like, Alex Hirsch, who made Gravity Falls, was, like, one of the creative people on it, so, like, if that's your vibe, that's, like, a really fun movie,
Mm.
but I think the other rom-com that came to mind immediately was Crazy Rich Asians. I rewatched that one a
Oh,
lot,
yeah.
but that one's just fun. That one's
Mhm.
just fun to watch, I feel like. It's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I think my mom said that, because it was based on a book, but my mom said it's just more fun to watch it as a movie because in the book, they're going into detail about all these extravagant rich things, but it's
Mhm.
more fun to see it. And I'm like, that's really fair, honestly,
Yeah.
seeing all these rich, pretty things in this movie.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, trying to think. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, so fun fact, this is actually the second time we filmed this episode. We had a slight glitch with audio, so I'm trying to, like Rose does her best. Okay, this is episode 10, and we have not had a single glitch up until this point, okay? So, we've been doing great. Things happen, but
Things happen.
I've been
It's
trying to, like
fine.
I'm trying to, like, roll through what we said the first time that we filmed this, and I think I mentioned, red shoes in the Seven Dwarfs.
You
Did I mention that?
did!
Yeah, I I really like red shoes in the Seven Dwarfs.
That one's
That's
just a fun time,
it's
though.
so adorable. I feel a little weird being like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I love this, like, little cartoon because like, it's not, like, one of the, like, classic Disney ones, but it's so cute. I've seen it so many times. It is adorable. I love it so much. It was originally they were supposed to release it in the US, and they didn't actually end up doing it, and so they released it in, like, China or something like that. And then, they had actors, I think it was, like, Chloe Grace Moretz and, like, Sam Claflin.
Yep.
They dubbed it, and they released it in the US, and it's so good, it's so good. It's it's so good. I will unironically sit down and watch that for no reason, like, I just it's really good.
I love Sam, but, like, I would not have recognized that that was him in
Mhm.
that movie.
Really, I clocked it so fast.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not. I'm
Yeah.
just so used to him as Finnick, and he doesn't speak in a very excited, high pitched, or whatever. I guess when he's Finnick,
Mhm.
he's very serious,
Yeah.
and this is like a cute little cartoon.
Yeah.
But
Now that I think about it, every role I've ever seen him in, he's been like that. Like,
serious?
yeah,
Yeah,
for the
I
most
love
part.
him as Finnick.
He's so good. I want them to do
Is
a
there a Finnick
Finnick.
book? There should be a Finnick
There
book.
isn't one, but I'm hoping that's, like, her next order of business. I
Oh
just don't know if she's
yeah,
gonna do it. I just really love Finnick. Not that I don't love Haymitch, and I am excited for that, but, like, I really like Finnick, and think I would love that a lot.
oh yeah. I think out
So
of everybody, Hamage and Finnick would be the two that people would be like really interested to see the
mhm,
backstory
yeah.
of.
And honestly, we don't know a whole grand ti the book's out now, so, like, if you read the book, you know, but I haven't read the book. We don't know a whole ton about Haymitch. Like, we know the story, but we don't know all the details. So, like
I guess if they made a if she wrote a Finnick book, that'd be really really awesome. But if they tried to make it into a movie, it'd be interesting because they'd have to hire a 14-year-old or like a 16, 15-year-old that could pass as a 14-year-old because
mhm.
the big thing is that he was like the youngest to win, wasn't it? He was like 14.
Mm, I don't think he was the youngest. He was young. He was I don't remember how old he was, but I know it's his games, and then he goes on victory tour, and they try to force him to, like, do a bunch of stuff or whatever,
Yeah.
and he refuses, and so they put Annie in the games the next time around.
Mhm.
Um, and so they'd have to do 2 games in 1 movie to get it
Oh,
to work right.
yeah.
Which I think would be really interesting because also, like, we know that she, like, kinda loses it.
Mhm.
So it'd be interesting to see how that works, and also, like, how Mags fits into the equation because, like, all of that
Mm.
together is very interesting. Anyway, we're off track now, but that would be interesting. That would be really interesting. I don't remember how old he is, but he, yeah, was super young at the time. Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah.
But, you know, I mean, Hunger Games isn't like a crazy guilty pleasure. I feel like everybody could say that. Catching Fire, obviously. What a good one.
So
I love watching that one.
I like that one a lot. Yeah, those are good. I feel like a lot of those, like, mainstreamy, fantasy or, like, dystopian or, like, sci-fi things, like, it was all Harry Potter, Star Wars, it was, The Hunger Games, it was Divergent, Maze Runner, all of those together,
I was
all
just about
super
to
popular.
say, yeah, I think nowadays, I think Twilight is now like a
Twilight.
universal guilty pleasure thing because of just how it is aged. And it's just like it's become almost like a rite of passage to make people who haven't watched it watched it,
Yeah,
which is so funny.
and it's not like I think everybody knows it's not good, and they just like it anyway. Which, like, that was one that I was like, I was sick one weekend and I had never seen them before. This is only like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna watch all of them. So I watched all of them in a day, and I gotta tell you, it's like watching a train crash. You're just waiting until it hits the wall. It is insane. But it's like it's not as bad as everybody says. Like I don't rewatch it because I have zero desire to rewatch it.
I do
But
sometimes.
like it's it's funny sometimes because it's not good, but also like there are some parts of it that are like kind of enjoyable. So it's like that
It's
one's a
hard to
toss up.
it's hard to describe to people,
Yeah.
you're like it's so good but like not like
Yeah.
that good. It's like you watch it and you're like, how did these exist and people thought that they were like amazing at the
Right.
time when they came out, you
Every
know?
time somebody asks me about them, I'm like, they're not as bad as everybody says, but they're also not as good as everybody says.
Mhm.
My kind of like my reaction is like they're meh. Like they exist. Like it's all right.
I do love seeing the videos of people making others watch it that haven't seen it and getting to Breaking Dawn Part 2 and making them watch like the big theater disappointment that they didn't have to go through. I did that with two friends now, which is so fun. I did it with a college friend and I did it with a coworker. And my coworker was more recently, and it was him and his roommate, and a group of us were making him watch it, and we were so excited to get to the end. And my coworker's roommate was so excited for the last one. He even made like pretzels, and like chocolate covered pretzels, but he made like brown ones, and then he made with white chocolate, and he put like little glitter sprinkles on them for Edward. Like he was so excited. And then we watched the last movie, and he was like,
This
"I
is the
made
skin of the
pretzels for
killer
this."
Bella.
He was so bad. He's like, "I made pretzels for this. This was stupid." Like they were so mad.
It's the skin of a killer
But it was so funny. My first friend, she just like I tried to record her reaction. She just got up and left the room.
Bella.
I was like, that's actually a valid reaction.
I don't even remember how I reacted to it, but I like seeing people like film their loved ones react to it and post it. Cause like everybody inevitably freaks out, which like I'm not really big fan of that character anyway, but like everybody goes crazy.
The first one that
Uh-huh.
oh, I thought you were talking about the oh, he makes me cry. It's so sad. He's the one that makes me cry when he's
Oh.
We're trying not to spoil it in case anybody does end up watching it because
Honestly,
it is a rite of passage personally,
yeah,
I
I
think.
mean, yeah, it's anyway. Okay, mm, we have like literally gone so far,
Just a little
way
bit,
crazy.
but
Okay,
Twilight is a guilty
it
pleasure.
is a guilty pleasure. It also has some very gross romantic tropes. Um, but those tropes are also kind of funny
Oh, they're
sometimes.
so
So
funny. They're so funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're so funny.
It is one of those things where you're like, "It's crazy that this exists."
It's also crazy that After exists.
Mhm.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure we've talked about After before, but like that was one of the first things that we watched together that I think we like hate watched. Like we watched it, but we hated it, but we loved it at the same time. And that, not that I would ever sit down and watch that again because I would not.
I think those actors were done so dirty.
They also like there's several movies. I tried to watch all of those movies because I wanted to know because here's the thing. The first one is passable. It's still bad, but it's passable. It's not that bad. But after that, it just goes downhill. Like it's actually kind of wild. And so I wanted to know how it ended because it's bad. And I watched the second one, didn't like it. The third one, didn't like it. In fact, the third one I watched halfway through and was so bored I gave up. And the fourth one, I just watched somebody review it because I was like, I can't do it. It's literally so bad. And by the end of it, those actors, they looked like they wanted to put their heads through a wall. Like like it was insane. No dedication at all. They were done.
I have no idea how they were able to keep going with that. I
Uh,
still look at it and I'm like, I'm not being trying to be mean. It's genuine when I say I don't know how you made so many movies off of a non-existent plot line. Like I can't describe what the plot line is. There's nothing going on.
the first one had a decent bare bones plot. Like it not it it had been done before. Like the whole like
It
I'm
was
gonna date
nothing
you.
special, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna date you based off a dare, and then you're gonna find out, and we're gonna fight about it, and then we're inevitably gonna get back together. Been done before. Definitely like tried, true, we know about it. It's not that great anymore, sort of thing. But it was so bare bones that it fell apart basically halfway through. And then you get to the other movies, and they're just supposed to like be together now, but they hate each other. Like it's they don't like each other. It's I don't even know. It's just not good. It's really bad.
And these poor actors are going off of these characters that have
Mhm.
0 to no personality, which I also feel bad about.
Yeah. I was very surprised that they chose that to adapt when like filtering through like Wattpad stories because like in my experience with Wattpad there are I mean not that that's extensive, but like there are decent stories. That not one of them. Like and also not original. It was a fan fiction to begin with about real people. So like maybe we shouldn't have gone there,
And
but
yeah, some adaptations through fan fictions can actually be doable, you know,
yeah.
because like, I mean, you say fan fiction and like, you know, maybe it started out that way or that was the inspiration, but for some,
Mhm.
I'm like, this is so wildly different. I wouldn't even call this fan fiction. I just call it like maybe an inspiration from this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but that one was straight up fan fiction.
Yeah, it was just you could tell that like I mean, the further that it went along, the more that it was like we were only here to like stay with the characters, but because they obviously aren't going to like put these real people into the adaptation, they changed the names, they changed the characters, whatever. So whatever appeal it had to the people that were reading it in the first place, it doesn't have anymore because you changed it so much it's just random people and I don't want to watch random people just be angry at each other for forever, you know? Like that's just stupid.
Miscommunication trope is so angering, man.
I don't like
Blood
that.
boiling. It's rage baiting at this point.
It is rage baiting. It totally is. Okay, so my next question was why do we outwardly enjoy some genres but not other genres? Why do you think that is?
Social stigma, man.
For sure. Honestly, that kind of covers it really. No, I think that's a pretty good
Because
answer actually.
genuinely, if I'm in a film class with a bunch of dudes
Mhm.
and they're all like, "Well, what are some of my favorite genres?" I mean, you do feel weird saying, "Well, rom-coms," because 'cause you're just waiting for the faces and the eyes to roll, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just how it
Yeah.
is.
I think there's a lot of like um not to jump the gun here, but like I do think that there is definitely this sort of idea that like you can like things like romances or more like silly lighthearted things if you're a woman, and if you're a man you like slapstick comedy and like action and that sort of thing, and like there's not really an in between. I think we've gotten a lot better as a society in like that it's not always like that anymore, but I think, it's still definitely a prevalent idea that like you can't be a man or a woman or whatsoever you may be and like what you like. You know what I mean? Like there's like this whole idea that you have to like this specific genre if you fall into this specific category sort of deal, which I think creates that social stigma that you're talking about, which is that like you can't like specific things. Um so yeah, for sure. Like I think like I don't like walk into a conversation and be like, "Yeah, I like what was one that we talked about when we filmed it the first. Oh, Outlander." I was like, I don't typically walk into a conversation and be like, "Yeah, I like Outlander," because people are going to be like, "Oh." You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, "Oh, well, you know?"
I mean, even as, uh I don't know, I feel like as humans and just society, like, you're just always hyper aware of what people are gonna think when you say
Mm,
something that you like.
right.
It's, like, dangerous.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be, I don't think. I like we we've like done a lot of like dissecting this sort of topic, and it's a lot of like the more archaic now views that if you fit into a specific category you can't step out of it, like if you're in a box you can't get out of the box sort of vibe. And so like we aren't allowed to talk about those things. Not that you aren't allowed to, but like socially, if you start talking about it, that makes you different. And if you're different, then you're not as easily accepted by people or that sort of thing. So yeah, it's hard to like openly like everything that you like or everything that you enjoy. Um because it feels like you're to be judged for it. I think the older I get, the less that I worry about that. Like
Yeah.
the younger I was, the more I was like, oh, well, I can't say that I like that because if they know that I like that, they're gonna think I'm weird, or they're gonna think I'm like strange.
I
But
know. It yeah, cause like, I mean, what's the worst gonna happen if it's like, I say, "Well, I don't know, I really like rom-coms." Oh, no. They're gonna find out I'm a woman. Like, yeah, I enjoy rom-coms, but I enjoy other things too. That's just what I tend to go to because
yeah,
it's a lot of like, low stakes rom-coms are kind of more comfortable for me, you know?
yeah,
I like stuff like that.
and that's okay. I think everybody has different tastes. I think regardless of where you stand, everybody has different tastes. I mean, I enjoy a good action movie every once in a while, and I'm not a man. Um, yeah,
We enjoy a good horror movie here and there too.
we do.
Mhm.
We do. We
We forget about those
Yeah, we
sometimes.
do forget about those sometimes. I feel like we talk about genres and we're very stuck on like those specific genres, whereas like horror I don't really feel like has a gender. Like whenever we've
Good point.
talked about that, like I don't feel like that's one of the ones where I'm like, "Oh, you can't mention that," or "Oh, we have to be more like palatable so that people who aren't women who enjoy this will understand it," that sort of thing. I feel like horror kind of subverts that a little bit. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's just because we like horror and we've talked about it so openly a lot.
Yeah.
But like, I don't feel like that one matters as much. And I used to watch a horror movie like every week with my brother. Um, so maybe I just feel a little more like comfortable with that one.
For some reason, when I think of horror, I sometimes think of it as like a nerdy genre. You know what I mean?
It can be, I think.
And
Yeah.
I think, there's some nerdy genres that are a little more kind of, I don't know, sometimes there might be a little social stigma with like what guys and girls like when it comes to
Mhm.
nerdy stuff, but there is a lot of nerdy genres that you don't really think of as having a gender.
Right. Yeah. Little like subsets, I guess. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. I don't know. Yeah, horror can be I feel like horror is also very broad
Mhm.
because like it can either be like psychological horror or like thrillers or just suspenseful movies. You know what I mean? Like there's lots of little like categories within horror itself too that I don't think you could really like put into a gender category quite like we're talking about here because there's a lot of different things going on there. Um cuz like we watched what like I'm thinking like weapons. Like that doesn't really fall into a category. Neither does it really.
Yeah.
Um yeah. I don't know.
We're definitely getting into more of a time where there's not just really one word to describe a movie, it's usually like a combo of 2 or 3 different genres,
Mhm.
or it's kind of like earning little subclass names almost, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, because like you said, like horror is a very wide genre,
It
so
is.
why they're making more sublabels for it.
Mhm. Well, I think we're also just like as a whole, I feel like we're kind of expanding. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I feel like as we, move forward as a society, as humans, that sort of thing, um, we're, you know, we're learning more and we're learning from the past and we're learning from, our lives and things like that, which has always been happening. But I feel like at this point we're growing in a way that kind of allows for more that wasn't really a possibility before because we're limited by like, resources or technology or things like that. So I think we have like the capability to do that a little more than we used to, which is a good thing. So,
Yeah. It definitely is a fun time whenever the gender norms are broken a little bit, or
mhm,
like you meet people that aren't really operating on that mindset. Like I will say I do remember sometimes when we talk about this stuff is when I took a screenwriting class, which was
mhm,
just a basic screenwriting class. We obviously have to write a script, and we edit it throughout the semester and go through it. And at the beginning I came up with kind of like a sweet little kind of easy rom-com idea. And my teacher, who was a man, he actually told me himself, he was like, "I'm so excited. You're like the only person writing a rom-com, and I love rom-coms. My
mhm.
wife actually doesn't really care for them that much, but I like them." Like it was just funny. And he
Yeah.
told me that. I was like, "That's really fun." So he was interested in what I was doing. So
Yeah, that's cool.
I think about that sometimes. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I was having a conversation the other day and uh kind of made me think about the fact that like the idea that was the nuclear family, circa like the 60s is something that like we don't really subscribe to that anymore. Like that's not really how we are as a society, but I think like that idea still has its like claws out, like it still like, dips a feeler in here and there. And so, the very specific idea that like the man is the man of the house and the man likes the action movies and the man makes all the money and the man is the protector and the woman stays at home and she cooks and she reads romance books and she takes care of the kids and that sort of thing, like that very like specific idea of like gender is this sort of thing, like a woman is this and a man is this, and if you fall anywhere outside of that box then like it's incorrect. And I really wanted to like touch on the fact that like that's not always the case, and I think movies are a great way to kind of talk about that because like for example, a man could totally love rom-coms.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that doesn't make them any less of, like, what they are, you know? I feel like you can like what you like, and it doesn't make you any less of what you are, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking about how women also say, "Yeah, so I want kids. So
Mhm,
I wanna be a stay-at-home mom and wanna get married."
mm,
Kinda I think of Meg March. It's
yeah,
like, "So what? This is what I want." It shouldn't be like a, "Oh, ha ha, you fit in the box" kinda thing, or I shouldn't be demeaned for it or made fun
yeah.
of for it or made fun of by others for not being special or, feminists, which is not what a feminist should be, but, feminists, quote
Mhm.
unquote, saying, "Oh, you're just a why are you not stepping outside of the box?" It's like, if this is what I want, then this is what I want, and it shouldn't be a big deal.
I don't know if it's because, like, we're from Texas, where, like, it's a little harder to be progressive here, but, like, I feel like if you're different here, then, like, it's a little more glaring than if you were different elsewhere, and, like, I don't feel like it's bad to be different, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has their thing, um, like, what was I thinking? I was like, I don't remember. Anyway, the moral of the story is that, like, I just keep thinking about the fact that, like, boys and girls are thrown into these very specific boxes, and it's really hard for them to exist outside of those boxes. And I know people who, like, are slightly different, you know, like they like this or they act like this or that sort of thing, and it's hard for them to exist in that way because of, like, the space that they're in and the people that are everywhere, you know what I mean? And I feel like we're growing, like, everyone is learning now, like, you don't have to fit in a specific box, you don't have to like a specific kind of movie, but I think it's a little slower than we'd like it to be.
Mhm. When you were talking about that, it made me think of kind of, when The Summer I Turned Pretty was coming out with seasons or when it was a big deal, and, like, I felt like it was a big thing that all of these, like, girls were posting, like, their boyfriends or their guy friends or their brothers or
Mhm.
whatever, like, getting or just guys getting really invested in it as well, and it was, like, these kind of,
Yeah.
like, cute but also funny things, seeing them get all invested in, like, Conrad and Jeremiah, and I'm like, "Yeah, because it's fun, because 'cause they're watching too, and they're understanding, like, this
Right.
fun drama, and they're enjoying it themselves." Like, I thought of that when you were talking about that.
Yeah. It's not weird for a guy to sit down with his girlfriend and enjoy a little stupid little romance show, and it's not weird for a girl to sit down with her man and to watch Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, because when we watch those, we don't think like, "Oh, ha ha, you're not masculine." No, the complete opposite.
Right.
We love because no, we get to talk about that with you.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, like, I was really lucky growing up because my dad really liked, we talked about this a little bit, my dad really liked things like Harry Potter and Star Wars and Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that, so I, like, grew up watching those things. Um, I mean, I also watch Disney princess movies, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel very lucky in that, like, my family was very into everything almost, you know what I mean? And so, like, it wasn't weird to like one thing or the other thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very nice. It's you always feel very lucky whenever you don't feel hyper aware of
Mhm.
your gender and what you're watching and if you should be watching it or liking it or saying
Mhm.
out loud that you like it. I
Yeah.
randomly thought of this. It's not exactly movies, but at my job currently, when I got hired, I was very hyper aware of being a female, being my age.
Mhm.
Granted, my department's very small, but I was very hyper aware of it. But it was just me. I think it was just me being like kind of like almost nervous, worried that like,
Mhm.
oh, I stick out like a sore thumb. But they treat me like an equal, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's good.
"Ugh, I'm just getting in my head about this. I should trust myself in my
Mhm.
in what I'm doing here." But I think about that sometimes. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have to be a big deal.
I feel like it's really easy to get lost in, like, this sort of, like, the idea that you have to this preconceived notion that you have to identify with specific things, or you have to think about yourself in a specific way. So, like, to circle back to, like, movies, you have to identify with specific characters because, oh, they're like you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like you grow up and you're like, oh, well, they're like me, so I have to like perceive you to be like me. I have to like understand you sort of thing. I have to see myself in you sort of thing. And in that case, it's really more like you are perceiving yourself to be a young woman in the situation and you don't think that it's going to go any specific way and then you realize, "Oh, it's not like that at all."
Mhm.
So, that didn't really make sense, but
No, no, it did, because when you said that, I also thought about, like, or, like, if you like a fictional person, I had that weird thought, which is not that big a deal, but, like, I growing up, it felt like all my little fictional crushes all were kind of, like, the same in a sense,
Mhm.
and then I had one recently, like, last year that was so drastically different, and for some reason, I was worried. I was like, "Is it do I not have a type? Is it, like is it different? Is this bad?" It's like, "No."
Yeah.
I'm just learning new things about myself, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and now that you say that, I'm thinking like, well, as kids too, because other kids obviously are mean to other kids. If you're different, if you like something that everybody else doesn't like, then that automatically puts you on the outside. That automatically makes you different from everybody else. And so, like, it might also be like a consequence of everyone being like, if you don't like what everybody else likes, then that's an issue. And we don't want you around, sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if I said this on the podcast. I probably have, but like that Taylor Swift quote that like some of the worst people in this world are people that make you feel bad for being happy or excited about something.
Mm-hmm.
She's right. It's the worst. When people just feel like they need to like make fun of you for you
Yeah.
saying like you like this show or this actor or whatever.
Mhm.
I had that in high school and I remember and I look back and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that didn't get to me, but that was annoying. They were just trying to
Yeah.
rage bait me. I mean, come on. Why'd you have to
Yeah.
be like that?
I was having a conversation with a friend from high school the other day, and we were talking about like all of the really like unfortunate things that were like said or done or whatever in high school. And like when you're there, it's a big deal. When you're in those situations, like the emotions run high and it might matter a lot. And then, like you might think that it's this like really, really huge deal, and it's just not now. Like it just really isn't. Like there's a running joke running around like literally every single person I know right now that I'm old. If you're watching this and you know me personally, thank you for carrying on this joke. It's hilarious. Um yeah, apparently that's a thing. Everywhere I go, I'm old lady, I'm granny. I don't know. I just turned 24, so like it's not that weird. But anyway, there's this joke that I'm old, and I don't normally feel old. But when I talk about things like this, I feel old because I'm far enough away now from those situations where I can be like, "Oh, this person said this to me at this point," but like doesn't matter now. Like, okay. Like it might have been a big deal then. It might have hurt my feelings a lot then, but it doesn't now. And even now, I'm like, well, I like Harry Potter a lot. Would I have like gone around and shouted that from the rooftops in high school? No, not really, because people would have made fun of me. But now, like that's a really tame example because I was talking about Harry Potter in high school, but like you know what I mean? Like I would feel 10 times more comfortable just like talking about it now because I like it and I don't really care what anybody else thinks. But back then it would have been different.
Yeah. No, it that makes a lot of sense. And I think I've mentioned this before, at least to you.
Mhm.
And I discovered a show last year that I really, really loved. And it's nerdy, and I would say it's a little more boyish, or like it'd make more sense for boys to know about it.
Mhm.
And I think I told two of my guy friends about it who had never heard of it. And they watched it with me and they're like, this is awesome. And it kind of made me feel a little good on the inside. And I'm like, I introduced them to an awesome show that's nerdy and all that. It was a D&D thing. And I'm like, I don't know, I really got into the show and I guess I just expected them to know what it was, which was
Mhm.
also an assumption on my part.
Yeah.
And then they watch it and they're like, "This is awesome," and I'm like, "Isn't it? It's so cool." It kinda feels good, you know?
Mhm.
It's just interesting.
I think there's also something to be said for giving things a chance, you
Mhm.
know? I think that might also be part of the problem is that like some people they don't want to, branch out and try new things. I'm literally the worst at this. Like I will like hear about a book or a movie forever and I'll just never touch it because for some reason I'm like that's a lot like I don't wanna branch into that, like, that's change, and I don't wanna go there, you know? But, like, once you do it, you appreciate that you did, sort of thing. Yeah, I think there's a lot for, like like, a lot to be said about actually being willing to branch out and try new things, and learning that you actually like them, and they aren't as, cliche or, um, characterized as you thought they were.
Yeah. I'm definitely bad about that. There's definitely some things that just, like, I never get around to, and it's something that's always in my mind. I'm like, it's always on social media or
Mhm.
like it's very popular right now. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch that. Oh yeah, I'll watch that. And I just never do. I'm still finishing The Summer I Turned Pretty, guys. But then again,
Finishing would mean you're actively doing it, and you're not actively
I'm
doing
not
that.
actively doing it. I started it and I stopped, but like I read the books, so not that like that constitutes everything, but like, I know what happens, but I've been meaning to watch the show. I just didn't get around to it.
See, that's better than me. I didn't read the books. I've watched the whole show, I just haven't read the books. No, see, okay. I watch a lot of TV and I read a lot of books, but I tend to stray from what's super popular book-wise, and I also like halfway with TV shows. Like some of them I watch and some of them I'm like, that's too long, too popular, I'm scared. So,
Yeah, I feel like there's something to be said for that too. When something like blows up and it's so popular, for some reason, it's like, I mean, it's not that I don't think I'm gonna like it, but just because everybody's raving about it, I don't feel inclined to watch it.
yeah, it depends on what it is. Um It definitely depends on what it is. I experience that a lot with books more than I do anything else. And this doesn't pertain to the topic of like gender that we're talking about, but more so like popularity is like I think that when something gets like super super popular, I'm probably not gonna like it because it. I don't know. Like I just think that like oh it's super popular. I'm not really gonna like it because this person said this about it and this person said that about it. Like I've never read ACOTAR.
It's the possibility of being overhyped.
Yes, yeah, so yeah, exactly, no, like,
When
literally,
you get
I've
to it, you're like,
yeah,
oh,
people are like, "Oh my
I mean, it's
gosh."
not bad, but like, why are we not shutting up about it?
Exactly, no, exactly, and, like, that's with Fourth Wing too, which I know you've read Fourth Wing, but, like, I haven't touched ACOTAR, Fourth Wing, any of that, like, really popular, like, book sort of thing,
I haven't
because,
touched
like
ACOTAR either, but I did read Fourth Wing. I had a great time. I do think it is overhyped, mostly because
yeah,
it's been read. It's one of those books where it gets popular and people who don't read books read it, and that constitutes like, all of their book
mhm,
knowledge in a sense,
yeah,
sometimes. And it's like, it's great, but like there are a lot of other good books that are awesome too, but
mhm,
like this is just what's getting all the attention.
right, yeah, 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 not to sound like a broken record, sorry, um, no, I think that's true. Maybe it's like subconsciously I realize that something's popular and that because it's popular that means that this is going to sound really rude, but that even the people who don't have taste are reading it. And if the people who don't have taste really really like it, then I'm probably not going to like it.
Yeah, you get worried for that. And not to sound mean, but like,
Yeah.
as a nerd or somebody that might be overprotective of something, when it gets like super overhyped by people on social media from all platforms, not just
Mhm.
like the book side or whatever, you get worried that it's like a situation where they just like that there's a hot guy in it or something like that, and there's not a lot of things
Yeah.
going on, which can happen, or they may be right and it's a really awesome story with a hot guy. It can happen.
Sometimes you get the best of both
I
worlds.
know, but
Sometimes you don't.
I understand that, the fear of that, but like again, you never know until you try. And
Yeah.
when you try it and you were right, then hey, you were right.
Yeah.
I've had that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that happen a lot.
I mean, I won't name stuff to be the cliche book person that doesn't really care for some authors, but I'm not gonna be mean. I mean, I may not love the book, but doesn't mean I have anything against the author, really. It just means I tried it. Didn't really like it very much. It's just not my cup of tea.
Mm. I haven't had a ton of those. I think I've mentioned it before. I only read one book, that it wasn't my genre. I was trying to branch out, and it just I didn't like it. I didn't like it. But I mean, I haven't had a ton of those. Like a ton of those like, "Oh, I'll try it, like this might be a little overhyped, but I'll like give it a go," sort of thing. But yeah.
Yeah. I definitely had the moments where we're talking about books, but like I tried a book that was, well, one or two times I branched out a little bit just to try it. And I wouldn't say it was phenomenal, but I understand the guilty pleasure. This,
Mhm.
having a good time when reading it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I probably wouldn't go around telling everybody I read this, but like I had a good time,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't like heavy story.
Right.
I will say, well, I guess it is easier. It's really easy to tell kind of when a movie is kind of catered towards a man versus a woman and vice versa, but
Mhm.
in books you can really tell as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read a whole then again, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't read a whole ton of books written by men, and I never really thought about that until I read my first one written by a man, and it was like a
Mhm.
thriller. I don't think I'd ever read a thriller before. And I had a good time. And then by when I got to the end, it kind of became more apparent and like hyper aware that it was written by a man, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I mean, still a fun story, not really anything against it, but like, I don't know. Just wasn't just guess not what I'm used to. I just kind of prefer a certain viewpoint."
Yeah, well, and that's okay. I think everybody's gonna have their preference as far as like, reading goes. You're gonna prefer a certain voice over others. I'm trying to think about it. I was like, I've read quite a few things written by men. Um, Not so many recreationally. I've been in like the middle of one for quite a while. I think barring a lot of classics, men tend to, in my experience, have a little more lore heavy uh books. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like the ones that I've read tend to be um v- a lot more lore heavy. And there's also one of my favorite books ever is The Great Gatsby. Um and that's really 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 well done. But it's old. It at this point it is old, so it's a little different because it's one of the classics. I also really like Great Expectations. It's also written by a man. Um, but like now that I'm thinking about it, it's like everything that I read that's like more like coming out right now tends to be written by women, whereas like everything that I like that's older tends to have been written by men. Um, and I don't know that I could quite identify why that is. um, I don't know. Um, I guess it just depends on the perspective and the story itself. Um,
I also just think there's like way more female authors nowadays than there are male authors. Maybe that's just me though. Maybe that's just the side of book talk that I'm on.
Maybe it is. I think truthfully, what's happening is that social media is, I mean, it's populated by everybody, but it's going to be majorly populated by younger people. I would say like people below the age of like 35. So like TikTok and Instagram, all of the like media that they're going to be talking about, all the books, all the TV shows, all the movies, things like that, are going to be geared towards younger people. And the vast majority of like young adult novels or romance novels, that sort of thing, are written by women, not men. Men tend to, I mean, obviously like it's not always this way, but I do know that the like if you walk into like the sci-fi section, or the fantasy section, which there are plenty of fantasy books written by women, but the sci-fi and the fantasy sections are going to be far more dominated by male authors than female authors. It's just like what I've noticed, like walking into like the Barnes and Noble sections, is like you tend to find more male names in those sections, whereas like the romance books will have more female names, which kind of perfectly falls into like the genres that we're talking about, and like the genres and the genders, um and all of their like like where they go. We've kind of categorized ourselves to the point that like even the people that are writing those things fall into the categories. Like I said, it isn't always like that. Like there are plenty of people that write both genres or one genre that isn't those, But I will say that, yeah. I feel like horror's kind of both, although obviously Stephen King runs that realm. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, I think that's just more of what I had. But I will say that, like, younger younger authors that are just wanting to write like a couple of things or just, publishing some works. I feel like I do see a lot of females that are just wanting
Mhm.
to publish some stuff. But then again, like different things are becoming popular, like Wattpad and that being able to grow from
Yeah.
literally a Wattpad story to like being published, I guess.
I think that's a good pipeline. I
Hmm.
mean, I think like okay, so those writers, I mean, they're still writing, right? Like they deserve to have that visibility. Um, I just think that they've chosen the wrong material every time they've chosen to like
Yeah.
bring those things somewhere. That's not always true. There are a few original stories, but also a few like fan fictions turned original stories that have been published. Not so much adaptations, but at least the ones they've chosen to adapt on screen have not been great. If you're chronically online at all, there's a few Tubi originals that are floating around right now that are Wattpad originals, and they are not grand.
Depends on the content.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So, um, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of talked our topic to death a little bit.
Just a little.
Um, but that's kind of what we wanted. I think we had like a lot of thoughts on these things, and we kind of jumped around a bit, but I think that's kind of like we flow like that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We always sometimes find random things to talk about in the
Mhm.
middle of these, which just happens. But I mean, if it was that bad of a segue, then I probably cut it out.
Yeah, probably. And you never know.
Never know.
And neither would I, because when I watch it, I'll just forget that it happened.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Well, we only have a few episodes left. So if there's anything specific you want us to talk about, let us know. Yeah, that's all I've got. It's up to Rose to end the episode now because I started the
All my brain is doing is stupid Canadian wolf bird.
episode.